afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Conrad Nagel welcoming you to the 16th of a new series of Silver Theater dramatic productions. Next week and the week following, you'll hear James Stewart and Jane Bryan, and in future weeks, Andrea Leeds, John Garfield, Lee Tracy, and others. Today, we're proud to present Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's brilliant star, Myrna Loy, with Elliott Lewis in Debutante, an original drama by Grover Jones and True Boardman. And now the lights are being dimmed and the silver curtain is rising on the first act of Debutante, starring Myrna Loy as Pamela Bruce, with Elliott Lewis as Eddie Adams. The scene, the huge paneled library of the Marshall Bruce home, one evening early in December.
You see, Pamela, my dear. You see, while you were in Burma, I arranged everything. You will have your debut, and you'll have it this season.
But, Mother, Dad,
we won't argue about it. For 3 seasons now, I've let you talk me into putting it off. This time, I'm determined.
I see. In other words, 1 more year and I'll be practically an old maid.
Now, Pam, girl, you know what this means to your mother.
But how about what it means to me, Dad? I don't want a debut.
That's nonsense.
It's not nonsense. Look, Mother, all these traditions, the whole social setup, I suppose they're important for people who want them, but I don't. I want something else out of life.
Any idea just what?
Freedom. The freedom that comes with not being tied down to a famous family or a famous fortune.
Oh, and you think money stands in the way of this freedom you're after?
I know it does. Oh, please, Mother, Dad, forget this debut business. Let me just go out on my own and hunt for a job. Not as Pamela Bruce, but as Paula Barton, a girl nobody ever heard of. At least let me try it. If I star, well, that's up to me.
Pamela, I listen to no more of this. You're being romantic and absurd. I will have the party here on the 19th. I've already selected the orchestra. Oh, and your dress. It's going to be white and very long, sweeping the floor, in fact. Oh, and here's the guest list. You'll see that every person on there has been invited for a purpose.
Yes, I can believe that. Particularly all unattached males between the age of 25 and 60. Providing, of course, their ancestors came within 3 boatloads of the Mayflower.
Pamela, don't try to be funny. As a matter of fact, you should be grateful. There's nothing I've left undone to make this the finest debut of the season. Why, there won't be a society editor in the country that won't come crowding around to see it. My daughter, Pamela.
How do you do?
Mr. Cartwright, Jr., my daughter.
How do you do?
I wonder if I might have the pleasure of a dance later on, Miss Bruce. After the receiving, I mean.
Of course, Mr. Cartwright. Shall we say the 9th?
Thank you.
Oh, Pamela, splendid. You know who the Cartwrights are.
Not typhoid carriers.
Pamela, no. They're copper people from Montana.
How many more, Dad? I can't take this much longer.
Stick with it, youngster.
Well, I will if my feet hold out. They're killing me.
Mine, too.
Pamela, the chap just coming in. He's Boris Malakoff, the young composer, and practically nobility. Do be nice to him.
All right, Mother.
Mrs. Bruce, good evening. Good
evening. Mr. Malakoff, my daughter, Pamela.
How do you do?
Good evening.
And my husband, Mr. Bruce, Mr. Malakoff.
How do you do? Oh, I am enchanted, Miss Bruce. Could I perhaps steal you away for this one dance? There are, I know, others waiting to be presented, but could we not let them wait?
Why, how delightfully nonconformist. Do, my darling.
Oh, you are so very
Thank
kind.
you, but I don't think I care to. Perhaps later, Mr. Malakoff.
Of course, as you will, Miss Bruce.
As you will. Pamela, why on earth? The one man of them all I hoped you'd be nice to.
I couldn't dance with him. I've got my shoes off.
Marshall. Pamela, how can you, after all?
Because I'm tired. My feet are tired, and my arm is tired, and I'm tired.
Pamela.
Oh, Mrs. Bruce. He did arrive after all. Mrs. Bruce, Miss Pamela Bruce, Mr. Marshall Bruce. May I present Mr. Ronald Stevens?
How do you do? So good of you to include me, Mrs. Bruce.
I'm sure you've read Mr. Stevens' novel.
Oh, of course.
And on this trip over, he's also acting as special correspondent for the London Mail.
The London Mail?
Quite. In fact, I was wondering if I might have a bit of statement from you this evening, Miss Bruce.
Well, I see no reason why Pamela shouldn't make a statement for the British press.
No, Mother, please. I have nothing to say.
Oh, please, Miss Bruce, just a word or so. Your opinion of the importance of debuts such as this. That sort of thing.
Don't ask me.
Pamela,
Please,
of course you'll make a statement.
I won't. Don't force me to, Mother, or we'll both be sorry.
Pamela.
Easy, youngster.
My daughter will make a statement, Mr. Stevens, and she'll make it now. Well, Pamela?
All right, Mother. You asked for it. You can send this to your London paper, Mr. Stevens. What do I think of debuts like this? I hate them. I think they're stupid, inane, and deadly dull.
Pamela!
Do you know what this little get-together is really for? To find me a husband. Well, I don't want to find my husband by showing off how much money my father has. The man I'll love someday will come and find me wherever I am. And whether I've got $1 million or a dime won't make any difference.
Bravo.
Marshall!
And here's a finale for your statement, Mr. Stevens. You can tell the readers of the London Mail that among the missing guests at Pamela Bruce's coming-out party was Pamela Bruce herself. Because at 11:30 she was fed up and tired and disgusted, and that she walked out on the assembled 400 and went home to bed. Good night.
Pamela! Pamela!
Hey, Pam, you forgot your shoes. Pam!
Marshall, I will not be put off any longer. You've got to tell me where she is. Pamela's my daughter. And...
Now, my dear, there's nothing to worry about. I simply sent her on a cruise to South America.
Don't tell me that again. Pam's not on any cruise. I've checked every steamship line and...
All right, Helen, I will tell you. Pam's in New York on her own, doing the things she wants to do, finding out what it's like on the other side of the fence.
Marshall, you didn't encourage her in that absurd idea.
You bet I encouraged her. She's doing all right, too. She found herself a job. Your daughter is now Paula Barton, sales girl in a dress shop at a salary of $14 a week.
$14 a week? But aren't you ashamed to have a daughter of yours?
Ashamed? I'm proud. Proud to know there's at least one member of this family who still has a little gumption.
Is that so? Well, the next time you go to see her, I'm going along
Go
with
to
you.
see her. I haven't seen Pam since she left here the morning after the party.
But you seem to know everything that's happened to her.
Well, I've had detectives keeping eyes on her just to be sure she's all right.
Well, that's at least a little better. Now, if we're going to be able to get...
I said I had detectives watching her. I stopped them the day she got a job.
Oh, Marshall.
Now, look, Helen. Between us, we've run Pam's life too long. If she really needs us, she'll come to us. But just as long as she wants to be on her own, she's going to be. And she has my blessing.
Well, now, this dress is something like it. But why you had to make me try on everything in the place to find it, I don't know.
I'm glad you like it, madam.
And don't you? Well, surely you agree that this looks better on me than that blue atrocity.
We want you to be pleased.
Young woman, I ask you a question. Do you still like the blue dress better?
Well, I do think the blue one's in better taste. Horizontal stripes are all wrong for your type of figure.
Young woman, are you trying to tell me how to dress?
It's not that, madam. But when you ask my
Don't
opinion...
try and deny it yet, young woman. Floor walker? I want the floor walker.
Please, madam, don't. I'll get
You
fired.
certainly will. Floor walker?
But you don't understand.
Yes, madam. Is there something I can do?
There certainly is. This stupid sales girl of yours is there to insult me. I have been a customer of Martine's for 14 years, and
Please, Mr. Adams, she misunderstood.
Be quiet, young woman. You needn't lie. I've seen your kind before. Have you
Just
for
a
one
minute,
moment?
madam. Do you want another sales girl?
Another sales girl? No, but I certainly want this one discharged. She said this dress I chose, the only decent one that you have in stock, was in bad taste. And that
Well,
my
she was
figure...
right. It is in bad taste. It's terrible, and it looks like a tent on you. If you want to know the truth, that's it.
Well,
Mr. Adams.
Our sales girls' jobs are to help the customers, madam, not to be shouted at. If you don't like the service here, you'd better go someplace else. There's an awning store down in the next block. You might try there.
Mr. Martine, Mr. Martine, this man here has
Not
just...
a word, madame, I heard. Well, Mr. Adams, and you, young woman, what have you to say for yourselves?
Please, Mr. Martine.
I'll tell you what we've got to say. We quit. We wouldn't work in a store where there's a penalty for telling the truth. It just happens we believe in freedom, don't we, Miss Barton? I said, don't we, Miss Barton?
Huh? Oh, sure we do.
So you can take your ladies ready-to-wear extra-large size for matron's department and throw it in the East River. Come on, you. Well, are you coming or aren't you?
Sure I am. And Mr. Martine, what he said goes double for me. You can take the whole store and do what he said with it. What we want is freedom.